Hello everybody, my name is 2km, and quickly before we start, I just want to quickly say that my audio messed up here, so I'm just quickly adding this in. This game is called The Bottom of the Well, sort of a post-apocalyptic styled game. Yeah, and I'll just leave it back to the video. Post-nuclear war, kind of-ish. So, I'm going to create a custom Alice. So yeah, it's like Dungeons and Dragons. You can just sort of put skills and points into certain skills. So we customize. So I'm going to go put 2 into survival, 2 into here we are. We get 9 points, so I distribute this nicely. Put 1 into fitness, 1 into social, put another 1 into survival, and careers. Let's go 1 for dating, and then 1 last one for fitness. And that's it, we've got all of the stuff. So finish off and accept. Dream Diary, September 13th, 2015. Today I had the weirdest dream of my life. I'm waiting. Oh, okay. Morning, eh? Morning. Did you catch the anniversary reading last night? No. Well, I tried, but I fell asleep. Listen, about that. You fell asleep? Oh, come on, Alice. In Wonderland's. Oh. Alice in Wonderland's like our favourite. Let me finish. Something happened. I was tuning in on my radio. You're such a Luddite. Amazing I can even catch you online. Shut up. I'm not a Luddite. I don't know what a Luddite is actually. Hold on. A member of any of the bands of English workers who destroyed machinery, especially in cotton and woolen mills, which they believed was threatening their jobs. A person opposed to increased industrialization or new technology. I just like analog things. Anyway, I was tuning in to the broadcast and I must have hit the AM switch or something, because suddenly the channel changed to something else. What? Aliens? Oh, government-run number stations. No. It was this weird, like, white noise first. It's hard to explain why I was so drawn to it. I could hear snippets of some melody, maybe lyrics, but the signal was weak. So you turned it off and continued looking for the Alice broadcast. So I went out on my balcony and turned the antenna around until the signal came through clear. Now it now sounded more like music, with the odd signal in the background. When logic and proportion have fallen stubbornly dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the bread queen's off of her head. Oh, so someone's pirate radio broadcast of old golden oldies. I felt like there was something else there. Some message that the music was hiding. I know it sounds weird, and then I fell asleep. What a story. No, hear me out. I dreamed, and I didn't know I was dreaming. Do you understand? It was entirely lucid, but like waking up in another world. Except I didn't think of it as another world. Does this make any sense? You had a super lifelike dream where you didn't know you were dreaming, but you were still lucidly in control. Sounds pretty rad to me. I'm sure it would have been. Except for the whole end of the world, apocalypse bit in your dream. Okay, now you've got my attention. So yeah, basically the game continues on just like this. But yeah, here we are. Changes. So we've got our stats at the top, telling us what we've got. So like I said, it was the end of the world. Everything I did that day felt like a real thing. Every smell, every sound, every colour, every touch. It's important that you know that. I wasn't acting like I would in a dream. I didn't know it was a dream. Heavy. There was no warning, no build-up, nothing. Just between one moment and the next, the TV had turned into the emergency alert system, and this voice that sounded like it had been recorded in the 60s told us we were under attack. Were you alone? Yeah. I just gotten back from the store and was packing my groceries. I had the TV on to catch the evening news and weather. I remember buying a lot of canned food for some reason. Since when did you have more than a spare packet of ramen noodles in your cupboards? To be perfectly honest, noodles are good. I like noodles. Hey, stop underestimating me. Future Dream Me was a pretty organised type. Although, bleh, I don't know what I was thinking with all those cans. Definitely paranoid. Anyway, what happened next? Like I said, the TV suddenly turned to the emergency alert system, jacked the volume all the way up too. Didn't even know they could do that. Broadcast told us we were under attack. Right now, and that we needed to go get to shelter. That we had less than 30 minutes before the bombers hit. Jesus, that sounds scary. At first, I didn't want to leave it. I switched the channel, but they were all the same. And all the sirens started. Tornado sirens, flood sirens, I don't know. And I knew things were serious. So what should you do? Aha, my first choice. Okay, so you can either go online to find out what was happening, immediately try to call Chess, and need to think about my options. So going online, I think it just means like checking news websites and just checking social media. Calling Chess, I think, unless Chess is the boyfriend in the dream, and I can't remember what the options for it is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go online. Didn't you try calling someone, like your parents? Of course I tried, but it was all futile. The phone network's completely overworked, but the net still worked fine. So what did you find? The network was still working, but bandwidth was severely lacking. The major news networks were either down or overloaded. All the big search engines defaulted to some kind of government site, super simple HTML. That kind of confirmed it was a real deal. Isn't the net supposed to be some kind of DARPA invention? Anyway, wouldn't be surprised if they had some kind of system in place to take over if it needed be. Well, they hadn't taken over. You could still go wherever you wanted. Facebook still worked. Apocalypse-proof servers. Nice. It was insane. I tried to get in touch with my brother. He's the only one who's even got an account, but there was no reply. I spanned my arms and sent an account to my mother, an email to my mother, but I don't know. It felt like I needed to find someone else. It felt like I needed to find someone right there and then. And a group chat. It was spreading through the social network like wildfire. Someone had found the closest old fallout shelter that was actually still operable, down 3rd. And people were going there, just grabbing all they could and running before the bombs fall. So what happened next? You know, I did find you online. Must have been useless. I'm all the way in all blighty. Unless things are different in your dream. No, you're still in the UK. The bombs had already started falling there. You disappeared. There was nothing more to do. It was only a dream, Al. Sure. So then what? Okay. Let's have a look at my options. Okay, what was your plan? The broadcast kept saying to stay indoors, to keep all the windows and doors closed, stuff like that. But what if the stairway got blocked, or a fire started or something, and I'd get trapped up there? I didn't feel very safe. I'd imagine they would hit downtown first, right? Not that you live right in the middle of town, but... Right. Getting out of town felt like a good idea. If they'd attack the cities first, I'd be much safer in the countryside somewhere. Spoken like a true survivor. But why do it alone? Wouldn't it be safer in a group? I thought of that. It could be done with a small group. Was it realistic of you to think you could stay in the apartment? Realistic? It wasn't like I'd been through a lot of apocalypses before. I'm not sure what constitutes realistic. I had enough food in my cupboards to last me a little while, so at least I had that going for me. Oh yeah, and I had my trusty radio, of course. I tried it and it worked. It was sending out the same emergency broadcast as the TV, and you called me a Luddite. You got me there. So, what did you do? What did you do? Oh, I just noticed. Got time here. And weather. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna try and leave town. I have a feeling this is gonna prove to be more difficult than just taking the Greyhound, right? Yeah. But I knew I didn't have a lot of time to spare. So I hurried out and... Wait, you didn't leave empty-handed, did you? Oh right, yeah. I grabbed the biggest bag I had, a backpack. People always called it magic. You could fit so much into it. Bigger on the inside and all that. Okay, so I've got all the stuff that I have here, so I can choose what I want. Let's just try taking it all. Okay. There's not much of a magic backpack if you can't fit shit in it. Oh wait, I'll do it this way. So, this is all the space I've got. Okay. Weren't you terrified? It's not like you were going camping. Fuck. My hands were shaking the whole time. But I was kind of working on automatic. I even turned off the TV and lights before leaving. So, if you weren't planning on sticking around when bombs fall, and you weren't planning on going to the shelter to hide from them, what exactly was your plan? Well, I needed to get out of the downtown area fast, which left a few options. The streets... I can imagine they must have been pretty bad. You live centrally, don't you? Yep, yep. The streets were bad. When I got out onto the front door, it struck me. Accidents everywhere, gridlocked as far as the eye could see. Panic, bedlam, awful. So no buses, no metro, and you don't own a car, correct? That's right. But I had a few options. One was to start walking until I got out of the gridlocked zone, and then steal a car. People were leaving them with the keys in the ignition, just running away. Okay, sounds awful and reasonable. Another would be to try and find a car as soon as possible, and then use it to make your way out of gridlock. What, like in the action movies? A truck will bust something, smashing through. Something like that. There was a third option. This guy I know, who lives not too far away. I know for a fact he has a motorcycle, and I know for a fact that he loves it and takes good care of it. Maybe he would lend it to me. Lend his favourite thing to someone who is self-overly leaving forever to live as a hermit out in the mountains. I'm sure he'd be thrilled. Maybe a bit of a long shot, but it might be worth the time. The motorcycle is much more valuable, even when the streets are gridlocked. Alright then, so what did you decide to do? Sorry everyone, the camera went off. Okay, so where are we? Alright. I think trying to steal a car straight away would probably be bad because same as everyone else, it's gridlocked. So, and with the motorcycle, I don't think that the guy would lend it to us. I mean, they say lend, give it to us. I mean, it's not exactly like... I mean, how much did I even put into social? Like probably 1 point. so I don't think we're gonna have be friends much with him. So I think we should walk past most of it, and the worst of it. I decided walking was the best option. The whole downtown area was gridlocked, cars everywhere, people running down the sidewalks and sirens blaring. It was like one of those disaster movies. No hope of driving anywhere at any rate. But where was everyone going? Most of them going home, I think. People just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there were you, running away from home. Once I made my decision, I stuck to it, no matter how much I was filled with doubt. Half an hour was nothing. Nothing at all. But luckily that estimate was completely wrong. Sometimes I'll walk half an hour in the wrong direction just because I stubbornly refuse to believe I'm lost. Sometimes I'll walk half an hour in the wrong direction just because I stubbornly refuse to believe I'm lost. I don't know what was the right direction, but I did try to get wherever I was going as fast as possible. I stayed off the major roads, and especially roads that I knew led towards the metro stations. Not that I was the only one who got in that grand idea. Was there any danger? Like people attacking each other or something? No. I thought we were all going through the same direction. But then I realised that the crowd was heading somewhere I hadn't planned to. A subway station. What did you do? I elbowed a few people and ducked and weaved my way out of there before I swept too far along. But I did lose precious time. Time. Yes. Isn't that the thing you were fighting here? How far away were you planning on getting? Well, a lot further than I'd gotten to at that point. I could practically see my apartment building, but the crowd was slowly thinning at least. I actually saw a vehicle in motion, an ambulance, weaving between stalled cars with its sirens blaring. What did you do? I think I'm gonna diverge from the path a little bit. What I think I'm going to do is... Well, actually no. I want to get a car so I can get away faster. Keeping walking, although looking for shelter might be wise. Or walking away from danger before I have to stop walking. I mean, I'm good at walking in real life. I will walk for like an hour and it won't faze me. Standing is what gets me. I can't stand for 5 minutes before my legs ache. Walking for an hour? That's nothing. I think what I'm going to do is get a car, because I'll get away faster then. I'm still not sure how you're ethically justifying this to yourself. I was scared out of my wits, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. Fair enough. So what did you do about it? How did you go about it? Well, first I scoped out a good candidate, and then I stuck around for a bit, make sure the owner was well and truly gone, and then I just went for it. And nothing. I got in, and there was no keys. I got out and repeated it until I found one with keys. That must have taken a while. A little while, although I didn't want to have to deal with some angry car owner. Anyway, I had a vehicle, and even though the streets were clogged, traffic actually moved by some magic. The roads are actually open? Well, no. Everything was still extremely gridlocked, but the cars were at least moving without needing extra nudging. Getting caught on the freeway during the explosion doesn't seem like a good time though. What was your plan? Okay, so I decided to take the first available exit to find shelter. I decided to at least get to the boroughs before leaving the freeway. I wasn't stop for anything. I'm gonna go with this. You actually made it that far? How long was it before the bombs actually hit? I'm not entirely sure. But something like 2 hours? I think they hit everywhere else but before they hit us. I'm not really sure why. Missile shield? Do we have one of those? Anyway, I knew that I was pushing my truck trying to get any further, so I started looking for likely shelter stat. I parked the car and got out. The area I was in was mostly filled with single houses, many of them occupied, but some looked empty. I was running out of time, so I thought I'd start banging on doors to ask to be let in. The first house I went up to, well, when I tried the handle, it just opened, so I went in. Huh. You're lucky as hell then. What I hear about Americans, Ned Castle, Dr. Ian is true. What if there had been someone standing there with a shotgun? I don't know, shotgun to the gut or a nuclear bomb searing off your face. I'm not sure which would be worse. Point is, 4 walls is better than none. Fair point. So, how did it go? I knew the most important thing was to get to shelter, getting to shelter away from windows and walls. The bathroom in the centre of the house seemed the safest. No basement? No basement. What about, like, food and things? Whatever the cupboard contained, I took with me to my shelter, of course, and tried to protect it as best I could. So, the bombs. They actually hit then? In the dream? The first thing that happened was the windows blew in. I just closed my eyes and pulled up to my knees and made myself as small as possible. The bombing continued for I don't know how long. But aside from the windows, we seemed to be pretty okay. So it was worth it go all the way out to town then. I didn't want to think about what it was like downtown. It was scary enough out there. A few cars drove past and I heard sirens. At one point I ventured out to glance out the window. Once the bombs had stopped hitting, I saw the city centre in flames. But at least you got out. How long did you wait in the house? For as long as supplies lasted. Really, that's the safest option, really. I don't know how safe the house was from fallout, really. Windows had blasted open and all that, but it was probably safer than walking the streets. And as long as I only ate the uncontaminated food, it ought to be okay, I thought. All the food I had really did go, and in the end, I even had to supplement a bit from the cupboards. I'm sure it was fine. Anyway, you ate through all your supplies, and then I wanted to try and find Chess. Let's at least try that. The problem was, of course, that I had no idea where he might have gone. His apartment might have told me something, but there's no way I was going back there. So I gave up the idea. If I found him, it would only be chance or providence. So what did you do instead? Immediate shelter was the first priority. I wanted to keep going, wait around just in case, keep going. Currently it's night. I've never actually used this bit before, so let's wait around for a bit. I found a single house, door unlocked, all the windows blown in, no car on the driveway, and after knocking and walking around it for a while, decided it would be good candidates anyway. What if life on the streets, what was life on the streets otherwise? Well, that was another reason to take shelter. There were a lot of other people around, and not all of them seemed very reasonable. There had been some gunshots earlier, I don't know. It felt very unsafe, and the grey clouds above didn't help. But it's clear skies. It says right there, clear skies. Any food in your shelter? Sure, but I was a bit wary of a lot of it. The cupboards had been opened in the earthquakes, and there were a lot of stuff on the counters and the floor. I didn't trust what was in the fridge either. Everything was covered in dust and ash blown in from the outside. But I collected what I thought was safe. So how long did you say? It's always good to stay off the streets, in an apocalyptic situation, and maintain that you're not there to try and stay, like, keep anonymity. I can't speak. Oh. May have to cut this short, there's a storm brewing. I don't know how safe the house was from fallout. Windows blasted open and all that, but it was probably safer than walking the streets. And as long as I only ate the uncontaminated food, it ought to be okay, I thought. All the food I had really did go, and in the end, I had to supplement from some from the cupboards. Sure, it's fine. Oh god, I just went around in a circle. Black rain! Oh, that doesn't sound good. There were lots of other survivors on the roads, as well as, and soon enough, the rumours started circulating. There was a government evacuation centre set up in the old college. Everyone was going there. The college? As in your college? Yep, talk about coming back to the beginning. Anyway, that's where everyone was headed. There was just one minor problem. Oh, the river. There's a river? Not something I had thought about either. I don't live anywhere near it, so whenever I crossed it, I just drove over it. But there it was. A geographical reality. So, I mean, the bridges were surely still there. True, but when we approached them, we realised they were occupied. Oh, by whom? I'm not sure. I saw them from afar and kind of ducked into cover. I saw immediately they weren't good news. They had guns and were harassing other people who came to the bridge. I think they were mugging them. Did they let anyone pass? Yes, some. But I didn't know what the price was, or if they had some other criteria for letting people through. So what did you do? I'm gonna go down river, that's the word. And what's to say the other bridges didn't have similar setups? Seems a likely thing to do. I was willing to take the chance. I wasn't going to tangle with a group of armed men, even if I lost some time. How much time did you lose? Well, that's the thing. I walked about a day through the incredibly terrible terrain towards the nearest bridge. Quakes had made the riverbank collapse in most places, and the river was for some reason churning, making it impossible to ford. And when we finally arrived, it was broken. Yes, it collapsed. Oh jeez. No hope of getting over. Well, it collapsed, but not totally. Half of it was dragging in the current. Some cars are still hanging on by some form of magic. Maybe it would be possible to balance across, but it looked pretty risky. I was so damn disappointed and tired, though it actually felt like a good idea. How about just backtracking instead? We've gone this far, and we know that it's blocked up on the other end, so we might as well try. Such a bad idea, Alice. Thanks. I wasn't sure how much longer I could go on without making a stupid decision, or maybe this was just my last straw. What was your plan? Take it slowly and carefully. That's the best thing to do. I edged my way across in fits and starts, but it still held a few cars, didn't it? What's the difference? One more human did it make? When it started creaking, I picked up my feet. I was too far along to turn back. Told you so. Thanks. I scrambled up on a car, then started sliding. I tried to grab hold of something in a panicked scramble, managed to steady myself against a piece of railing. And then I was yanked bodily and violently backwards. My coat had somehow gotten snagged in the car. I couldn't even see how. I barely had time to scream before I was already under the water, seeing nothing but bubbles and the rapidly disappearing light. Jesus, Alice. I wouldn't recommend drowning to anyone, but luckily it was just the first breath that hurt. After that, I just kind of drifted off. Oh, I died. And thus concluded my dream. Well, that was interesting. What did you think? I think it felt incomplete. Like there was something missing. That wasn't the only way. That wasn't the way it's supposed to end, you know? Dreams are supposed to end in certain ways. This one was, I think. It felt like it was trying to tell me something, but I wasn't listening closely enough. Maybe you could try again next time. See if you could hear the same recording. Speaking of which, what frequency was this on? That's the weird part. When I tried to see, I realised I'd hit the right channel, and it was in fact reading Alice in Wonderland. And this isn't some obscure numbers for station frequency on the AM bands. Well, maybe you'll dream it next. Or next night again, anyway. That's the good thing about with dreams. You can always dream them again. And maybe do something different the second time around. And that's it. Now there are so many different ways that you can end this. There are so many different endings to this. This is a completely new ending, and I've played this about 5 times already. But the length of the game changes drastically whenever you play it. All of your decisions make so much difference in the way that you survive. I've died from radiation poisoning, I've died from lacerations, from like glass, from bombs. Yeah, there's so many different ways that you can die in this. I've never gotten that far, and I think the longest playthrough I've done is about an hour. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, as it really does help me out. And don't forget to share this with all your friends. If you want to see more from me, do be sure to hit that subscribe button. And yeah, bye!